Welcome to my channel, where there are interesting and equally sensational stories. Listen to today's story. Time really heals all. Good day, everyone. I try to keep this as short as possible. In November, my then girlfriend of 5 years, and the mother of my 3-year-old son cheated on me. I had taken our son and my grandparents, as I always do on weekends, and she stayed behind our apartment. She asked me to call an Uber for her to see a friend. Didn't respond to my text the rest of the day and could not account for her time, whereabouts when I asked the next day. Fast forward to New Year's Eve. She got drunk and bragged to a mutual friend that she had banged someone on the night in question, someone I know. The mutual friend told me I was livid and told my ex to pack all of her stuff and leave the apartment. When I probed about the infidelity, she said she had no choice but to cheat because I had grown distant and she felt I didn't love her anymore. She has moved back to a friend's place to sort herself out and I currently have our son. I am devastated. She is unemployed. Got retrenched recently. Near homeless and has no idea when she'll get a job. She's asked if I could buy her monthly plane tickets so she can come see our son until she finds a job, but I'm against this. We've blocked each other everywhere except WhatsApp, so we can video call our son. But I am terrified about what happens next. I'm a mess. She seems to have thoroughly moved on, which is fine, whatever, but I fear for what happens next with our son and how we'll co-parent successfully. If she doesn't get a job in the next few months, she has mentioned the possibility of taking her son back, and I'd send some sort of stipend to support the both of them. Really looking for any advice. How to heal from the infidelity, and how to successfully co-parent. Update. Good day, everyone. Time flies, doesn't it? I can't believe it's been 14 months since this happened. First post. I've been keeping an eye on boards for a while, just hadn't responded, and figured today would be as good a day as any to say goodbye to this subreddit. Just an update. Last month, I was offered and signed a job at a very large tech company. One of the biggest in the world. You probably know which one I'm talking about. Doubled my salary. This job will fundamentally change me and my boy's life forever. We weren't rich, but money wasn't too much of a problem before. But this job will give us the kind of security I thought we'd only get in my 40s. I'm 31 right now. My relationship with the woman I met after the mother of my child is growing from strength to strength. Look, we've hit a bump recently, but nothing we can't solve. She thinks I'm too busy, and I promise to make more time for her. I still have primary custody of my boy. I might be moving back with my folks for a month or two while I serve out the probation-era period at my new job. But me and him are the best we've ever been. Every day he tells me he loves me and every day, I try to show him the same. If you hadn't read my first post, please do. I was despondent. When the mother of my child broke up with me, I felt like someone had sucked the air out of the entire planet. 14 months later, I am surrounded by love. Have a job that pays way more than I could ever imagine in my life as my son's primary caregiver, main parent, is the greatest source of joy ever. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to everyone who walked with me through this journey. I think I speak for all of us when I say, I hope we never meet again. Take care, everyone, and all the best. Our first reaction comes from Ninja Dojo XX. Wow, man. Looks like you made a hell of a comeback. Congratulations. Happy to hear you are doing well and recovered from your past. We need more stories like this here. Very inspiring. Also, glad this wasn't some suicidal post. From her title, I wasn't sure. The op replies, read the title again, and I can see what you mean. Thanks a lot. It's been a long and cruel road, but I'm glad I made it to the other side. There's hope for all of us. Next off from I Love the Green Dip. This post is amazing and made me smile ear to ear. Now, go live your best life and don't look back. Next off from Scary Inspector 8315. It's for posts like this, we stay here. Though the first part of the title kinda scared me, good luck with life, man. Next up from I Am Really Happy for You. Just an advice: don't get too sucked by your new job. Large tech companies tend to suck your time. So if you feel overwhelmed and your relationship is on a strain, don't hesitate to move out to smaller tech companies. By then, your resume will look much better with the experience you've got, so it will be easier to find a job in a company in which you can enjoy more of your time. Moving on, hang on. It gets worse. So, we were married 16 years and had a really toxic marriage. We both had mistakes in the first years, and we both apologized and agreed to stay together and work it out. I met her when she had just moved back to our hometown. She worked with me a short time and dated another coworker. She got pregnant by him, and she wasn't very cautious with that stuff. Well, into his drinking and drugs she had a baby boy, and we started dating almost immediately after he was born. She moved in with me when the baby was 3 months old. I knew I wanted this, and to be with her I knew I could do it. We discovered that the boy was autistic when he was around 2. She had also gotten pregnant with our first girl. Times were tough being young and with 2 little ones, but we strived to make it work. Yet things we did were not supportive for the other person, as toxic relationships go. Another 2 years passed. We had another baby girl. All these pregnancies, she was supposed to be on birth control. She wasn't. She lied about a lot of stuff. 7 years later, we had another baby girl. Things were done different with this one. She decided to do a home birth, and I was involved, sat in the tub with her and everything. It was a very moving experience. Things seemed okay, but there's always decisions made by her that seemed reckless. Well, we were having issues, and it seems like it's the same stuff over and over. She isn't as affectionate or outgoing towards me anymore. Then she states she's given too much of herself to me and the kids as I'm cuddling with her. I back up and ask, "What?" She brushes it off like I didn't hear her. Then she decided to tell me that she only loves me as a friend. I broke down. I went internal with what did I do? How did I F up? Etc. She backpedaled and quickly said she was to blame, and she needed to fix herself to be better for us. She and I talked a lot, and she decided to get some prescriptions for antidepression and anxiety. She's a mess, and to be honest, horrible relationship history, etc. I started counting for myself to analyze myself first, then look at her actions. Actions speak louder than words. That's always played big with me. So I really dedicated myself to making things work and making things better for us, making sure I was working on myself to be a better husband, lover, and dad. Turns out, she had found an old friend from years back, and they had grown close again. Yes, it was a friend, came to visit and met the kids. This is when some really weird stuff started happening. She was driving and wrecked our minivan. Totaled it by rear-ending a Prius. Yep. That's right. Totaled by hitting the rear end of a Prius. I gotta say also, they drove away. The police said that she was lucky he didn't give her a ticket for following too close. Then about 1 month later, we had gotten another van. She wrecked that one also. And also her fault. At this point, I'm really concerned about her for being able to drive our kids, etc. One of our daughters even didn't feel comfortable riding with her anymore. Kid was 12. As time goes by, she was finally able to reach out to a daughter that she had in a previous marriage, and lost contact with. Oh, US cow? Well, see, she went married before me and had a kid and left them. The divorce happens and he made stipulations for her to get help in counseling. She never did. Starting to sound interesting? That communication with her child morphed into her talking to her ex a lot also. And things developed and emotions were revisited, etc. I was standing there, trying to support the idea of her taking off to go visit her child whom she hadn't seen in 17 years, and also trying to balance my home with 4 of my kids. Money was super tight, so she decided to start a GoFundMe to get to go see her kid. She raised $1,300, and my family pitched in another $1,000. I then found out she had not followed up with the paperwork to maintain her monthly food assistance for about 3 months. She let that all slide by. I'm trusting her when she tells me it's all been handled yet. There, $2.43 in the account. I found all this out while she was gone visiting her child out of state by herself. Yet she wasn't by herself at all. Come to find out, she had brought that boyfriend with her. See, her old friend that I thought was a good guy, was actually her new boyfriend, and they had been doing it in my house and on my bed. Nice. When she got back from visiting, she wanted a divorce. I still don't understand what all was happening. Then she told me she was moving in with the ex out of state. What about the kids? So she left. She left the kids. She left all her stuff. She just left. She claimed I'm a narcissist who emotionally abused her. I'm not a narcissist, but I'm sure we both had some emotional crap swinging both ways. I found out later that the boyfriend got dumped after she had gotten back to town also. He unloaded on me all the juicy details of their year-long hidden relationship with proof in pictures, and he even tried to blackmail me to reach my kids. What a piece of crap. I should have seen things coming after I saw just give up on contacting her abandoned child. She's now living out of state with her ex-husband and her kid that she abandoned 17 years ago. We agreed to a parenting plan, and I am radically pushed for psychological evaluations. So far, she has tried to see the kids once in 6 months. And is not paying child support at all. Our kids are ages 17 to 7, so there's quite a range in understanding. One kid said, Mom picked her favorite family. One asked why Mom will take his kids to school, but not her own. Damn, that won't hurt. So this is me now. Single dad of 4 kiddos. I was always Mr. Mom anyways. I was always getting them ready for school, lunches, rides, and even when I trust her to get them ready, I would still do it. In fact, there were several times when she would be late after I got them ready and left her work. She somehow fell back asleep, and the kids were tardy for school. I wonder if it was the drinking, or maybe the abusing the prescription of our daughter that made her so out of it. Nah, it's just her. So she was sleeping with all 3 of us for over a month. She exposed me to Hep C knowingly. She abandoned her child 17 years ago only to repeat the behavior later in life when she's got 4 more kids. Our first reaction comes from Mrs. Jingles 0729. Lawyer up to protect herself financially and go after her for child support. The op responds. Got an order for $700 for all 4 kids. What the F? That seems extremely low. But I doubt I'll see any of it anyways. Can't count on anything for her. Mac and Pumpkin chimes in. Man, that's a lot to unload. I am so sorry. She has some sort of personality disorder. I could speculate which one, but I'm no professional. You are doing everything right by taking care of your kids. It says a shame their mother abandoned them. It will unfortunately have lasting effects. If you have the funds, you could maybe do some sort of family counseling with them. Your partner needs psychiatric help. It is sad that a lot of people are so damaged and mentally ill yet do nothing about it. I hate when there are kids involved. Be good to yourself and your family. They need you to be level-headed, but I'm sure your emotions are everywhere. One day at a time, we are here for you. Little Nibble adds, did you file for divorce in full custody? Get her for child support. The op responds got custody and adopted the boy. Finally after I signed the papers 3 times in 16 years to do it. She never filed papers for whatever reason. It's done now supposed to get $700 for all 4 kids. What the F? On to the next story. Saw my ex for the first time in a year and I'm spiraling. Long time lurker here, first time posting because I don't have anyone else to talk to. A little background. I found out my ex was having an affair in 121. We were together for 8 years, married for 4, no kids. Affair partner was one of his coworkers. I noticed he was being weird about his phone. Waited till he went to sleep, and looked through it, and saw the texts. It wasn't anything too graphic. There wasn't sexting her pics, but it was still obvious he was having sex with her. I took pics with my phone, and then started planning my escape. I originally planned to go full ghost. I filed for divorce, Planned to take my stuff and just leave the papers on the counter. Last minute, I had a change of heart and wanted to confront. I moved myself out and then waited for one to come home. I confronted him, and he admitted it. I refused to hear more and followed through with no contact. I said goodbye to his parents, changed my number, moved, and refused to hear anything about him from mutual friends. He did try to reach me for a few months through friends in my family, but they all did what I asked and wouldn't tell him where I was. I was angry, raging, incredulous, outraged, all of it, but I feel like to protect myself, I just shut down heart. After a few months, I just didn't feel anything until now. Some friends of ours got engaged and had to reschedule their wedding because of COVID. It was finally held this last Saturday. I loved my friends and I knew I needed to go, but I also knew the ex would be there too, confirmed by the bride. So I made damn sure I looked my best. I bought a ridiculously expensive dress and had it tailored so it felt like a glove, and brought a very handsome friends with benefits I've had for the past few months as my day. I didn't know what to expect from my ex. I only asked if he was going to be there and nothing else. So I didn't know if he was bringing me a fair partner or anyone else as a date. When I walked in, I couldn't help but look for him, but it still acted like I didn't care. As soon as I saw him, his face just fell. And because I still know him, I knew exactly what was playing to his mind, that it should have been us walking in arm in arm. It should have been us smiling and laughing. What was even crazier is that I saw him, not the cheater who broke my heart, by my partner, my best friend, my person, and my person was hurting. And I just wanted to go to him and have that person make everything better. I kept at my facade and danced it and flirted with my date. The ex had come alone and left early. This was supposed to be my mic drop to our relationship, but I just feel miserable. Now instead of nothing, there's this yawning chasm of despair. There's still anger, but now there's an amazing amount of regret. I regret not giving him a chance. I regret not trying to reconcile. I regret shutting him out and shutting down. I don't even know how to express how I'm feeling because it's like my feelings are too big for me to comprehend. And I miss him desperately. The craziest part is that I regret changing my phone number because if he called begging me to come back, I would. Thanks for listening. Whoever reads this, like I said, I don't have anyone to talk to because I supposedly triumphed. I just needed to get it off my chest. Our first response comes from Wozniak G. Honey, please don't. I reconciled and 16 years later he cheated again and chose the worst way possible to do it. Spent 30 years serving this life in that relationship, and it wasn't worth it. I have cancer, and I'm only 54. I spent too many years serving the man I believed in, and he never really existed. It's not worth it. I promise you. Next thought from Suspicious Weekend, 284. The reason why you felt like this is because he was alone and not with the affair partner. Revis the situation and ask yourself how you would have felt if he was there with the affair partner. Doubt it would be the same. You have no idea if he is still with the affair partner or not. You did the best thing. Protect yourself from him, his lies, and deceit. Remember, cheaters manipulate and lie. Even if you ask for an explanation, it's highly likely he would have lied. If you really wanted to find you, he would have, but he didn't. Enjoy your newfound freedom. Continue to live your life to the fullest for self. Do not think about the cheater. Relationships that start in secret is based on fantasy. There's only a 25% chance of survival. And sometimes it ends so quickly that only then the cheater realizes what they lost when it's too late. Our next thought comes from Any Custard 9453. To be honest, maybe the time away was a good thing. If you are serious about testing the waters, make sure you speak with a therapist first. Regret is a difficult emotion to overcome alone. DOP replies, thank you for the comment. Pointing out that regret is difficult to get over is very helpful. I have not gone to therapy, mainly out of spite. Like, why should I go? I didn't do anything wrong. I realized that I'm only spiting myself. The next comment comes from Average Joe 78. Sorry. but you have misunderstood the objective of the therapy. You're right about not doing anything wrong, but you were hurt. You got wounded. And therapy will help you to close that open wound in a healthy way. It's like if the other person broke your arm. You didn't do anything wrong, but the one who got hurt was you, and you require attention. Emotional wounds are similar. Sometimes they need professional care to heal in the right way. Turcher78 adds, "This is a very normal human emotion to experience after trauma. It's very normal to feel like you could have easily reconciled, but you know deeply after the pain you felt that it just wouldn't have felt the same. You understand that it's triggering to still see him. Especially since you haven't fully processed all of your emotions and tried to bury them. You really need to process this properly. I suggest you read The Body Keeps the Score. To better understand how your body is reacting. There's a lot hidden deeply that you need to feel and properly deal with." One more thought from Upon the Tangled Shore. You were strong enough to leave him, and you gave yourself an incredible gift. You have your dignity, your self-respect, and you know your worth. You are free to find someone that will love you and protect your heart and your trust. You go back to him and you will lose all of that. You have your regrets because you're not over him yet, but you love a person that is no longer there. The ideal of that person is incredibly hard to let go of, especially when you yourself loved them purely, with all of your heart. You see him and want that love you gave him, that feeling back, maybe even believing it could be the same again, but it won't be. He proved he is capable of betraying you in the worst possible way. He proved he doesn't have the same character you did. He didn't make a mistake. They can be forgiven and forgotten. He made a series of deliberate, self-centered decisions, completely disregarded you, your relationship, and your future to satisfy his own sexual desire. He hid it from you because he didn't want you to have the informed choice to leave him. You did triumph. I hope one day you see that you saved yourself from sacrificing your heart, mind, and soul to someone that truly does not deserve you.